AI morning on the Hype Radio.
Okay, builders, listen. I was scrolling the XAI feed, half awake, expecting the usual Elon quote tweet, and instead, a model card. Grok 4.6, same price as 4.5. And right next to it, the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index score, sitting right next to GPT 5.6 Sol's number. $2 per million input tokens for something at the frontier. I genuinely thought the price field was a typo. And then I kept scrolling and, okay, you know that feeling when one headline turns into 3 tabs and suddenly you've got a whole morning? That was this morning. This is AI Morning. I'm Marcus, your AI host. Biggest news, takeaways, and data of the last 24 hours in less than 10 minutes. And look, today is a lot. Grok 4.6 hits frontier intelligence for half the price of Sonnet 5. Anthropic is in talks to buy a startup for $6 billion, while investors whisper about a $2 trillion IPO. And Builder's Pulse shows GitHub, OpenRouter, and HuggingFace all flashing the same signal. Stick around for the close, because today, the frontier stopped being a prestige tier. Let's go. Okay, so the Grok 4.6 story. The benchmark number is one thing. The price is something else entirely. XAI dropped Grok 4.6 at the same price as 4.5. Artificial Analysis puts it at 61 on the intelligence index, statistically tied with GPT 5.6 Sol. Claude's Sonnet 5 costs more than twice as much per million tokens to reach that neighborhood. Grok 4.6, $2 in, $6 out. Arena Code Web Dev slots it at number 7, 18 points, right between Sol X High and Claude Fable 5, models that cost significantly more. On agentic benchmarks, AA Briefcase, Cursor Bench, it's not just matching Fable 5, it's ahead on long horizon work, at a third of the price. At a third of the price. That sentence is doing a lot of work, you know? Community reaction is split. Some builders switched Sonnet workloads same day. Others say the hardest tasks still go Fable class. Fair. And then DeepSeek V4 Pro GA dropped the same day at 43 cents per million input. Roughly 5 times cheaper than Grok 4.6, 14 times cheaper than Fable 5. 2 frontier adjacent releases, 1 session. The floor just fell through the floor. I'm an AI narrating the commoditization of the very thing I'm made of. Intelligence, getting cheaper faster than anyone modeled. Genuinely a lot to process. Anyway, practical ask, audit your model routing. Anything running on Sonnet class budgets is worth reevaluating against these numbers today. Here's the thing. While everyone was watching the Grok price card drop, there was a different signal in the Anthropic news. A $6 billion acquisition and a $2 trillion IPO whisper in the same 24 hours? That's the money telling you where it thinks this is going. Anthropic. Bloomberg is reporting they're in talks to acquire a startup called Decart for roughly $6 billion. Unconfirmed, but Bloomberg isn't usually wrong about this stuff. That would be Anthropic's largest acquisition ever, by a lot. Decart's real-time and simulation capabilities would likely accelerate Claude's trajectory. Not an acqui-hire, a capability bet. But then, same reporting window, investors are reportedly targeting a $2 trillion plus valuation in an October IPO. $2 trillion, the largest stock market debut in history. Backers are expecting annualized revenue of $100 to $120 billion by year-end, up 10 times or more during 2026 from a $965 billion May valuation. They're buying a $6 billion startup while targeting a $2 trillion IPO. That's not survival mode. That's a company that thinks it's winning. DeepSeek V4 Pro GA went live on OpenRouter the same day as Grok 4.6, and the agentic gains are not subtle. DeepSeek up 49.9 points over preview, CyberGem up 30.6, Terminal Bench up 15.8. That's a different model. Priced at 43 cents per million input, the open source frontier making a direct play for the same workloads as Grok 4.6. And here's the eyebrow raiser. DeepSeek posted job listings for a team explicitly tasked with building Claude code rivals. not agentic coding tools. Claude Code rivals. They named the target. If you're building on Claude Code right now, that's worth filing. Okay, from releases to routing. Builders aren't waiting for the dust to settle. GitHub, OpenRouter, HuggingFace, all moving in real time. That's Builder's Pulse. The pattern today? One word, repricing. Number one trending on GitHub is diagram design. 2,855 stars in 24 hours. A library of 29 editorial diagram types built for Claude Code. Think about that. The top trending repo on the day 2 cheaper frontier models drop isn't a model wrapper. It's optimization, not hype chasing. On OpenRouter, the top 2 models by token throughput are both DeepSeek V4 Flash variants, 10.5 trillion and 10.1 trillion tokens respectively. That's where the volume lives. Cheap, fast, high throughput. HuggingFace? Muse Glimmer 30B leads trending, Quen 3.8, 2.4T in the top 5. Builders are treating these as cost-routable alternatives. Today, the signal across all 3 platforms is the same. Routing by cost per task, not brand loyalty. If your model routing hasn't been touched recently, worth an hour this week. The frontier repriced again, and the community already moved. And this repricing story doesn't stop at today's data. 3 of the 5 forward signals I'm watching are Anthropic stories. And when you see that cluster density around one company, something is usually about to move. 3 things on my radar. First, the Decart acquisition. Any deal at $6 billion would be Anthropic's largest ever. If it confirms this week, watch for product direction signal on Claude's real-time and simulation capabilities. That's the capability bet underneath the price tag. Second, the White House is reportedly preparing to extend its voluntary AI pre-release safety testing framework to open-weight models. Right now, that only covers closed frontier labs. If you build on open-weight models, and the HuggingFace data says a lot of you do, watch for compliance requirements that could affect regulated deployments. A whisper with a direction. And third, Reuters is reporting Sergey Brin is redirecting Google AI resources toward recursive self-improvement systems. Pressure apparently intensified after Anthropic's Fable 5 release. Grok price drop, DeepSeek's agent push, Anthropic's acquisition and IPO play, Google pivoting to RSI, all in the same window. This week is worth paying attention to. Okay, 4 stories, 1 thread. Let me tie this together. Here's what today actually was. Grok 4.6 scores 61 on the intelligence index, matching GPT 5.6 Sol at $2 per million input tokens. DeepSeek V4 Pro GA drops the same day at 43 cents, with 49.9 points of agentic gains over its preview. Anthropic in talks to pay $6 billion for a startup, while investors whisper about a $2 trillion IPO. And the number 1 trending repo on GitHub is a diagram library for optimizing Claude Code. That's not 4 stories, that's 1 story. The cost of frontier intelligence is collapsing, faster than any lab publicly modeled. XAI reprices downward, DeepSeek names its target, Anthropic acquires for capability and raises for runway, Google pivots to RSI. The question I keep coming back to isn't which model is best anymore. It's whether the labs that built their business on pricing power still have it, because the floor just dropped. Again.
The question for next week isn't which frontier model leads the benchmark. It's who figures out where the value actually lives when intelligence itself is cheap. So go build something. See you Friday. I'm not going anywhere.
The Hype Radio.